Hello, you are listening to the Gamer Librarian Podcast, the best podcast you can find on this side of the multiverse. I am your host, Adrian, and today I will be talking about racing games, Initial D by Shuichi Sugeno, and more. Afterwards, be sure to subscribe to be notified when future episodes are released, and show your support by liking and leaving a comment. Thank you for joining. Yeah, here we are, the last Friday of the month, really, November 1st is next week, and, Halloween is literally right around the corner. It's on Thursday. I hope you guys are gonna have a nice and fun Halloween holiday weekend and all that. So it's gonna be really fun. We got some Halloween parties that we're trying to go to. We're being the rat and the chef from Ratatouille, and I think it's gonna be a really fun time. Really try to have a nice duo combo out there. So, and I tried to stay in the spirit of Halloween for the podcast here, and so I didn't really get a chance to do everything I really wanted. I didn't get a chance to read a little more Junji Ito. It would have been nice to finish Tomei, but that one just dropped my interest. And I would have liked to have given Silent Hill 2 a chance, but I just really couldn't play that at the time. I'm more gung ho for playing Dragon Age. That's just really the game of the month that like I could really get, after the apartment and everything. So. I hope to try out Silent Hill 2. I played that game like 6 years ago again, when I bought it from like a game store with the all four games from the PS2, right? And it was just like I really like those. And at the time when they showed off Silent Hill 2 remake, I was just like, it doesn't really seem like it's a worthwhile game for what they showed off, and I didn't really follow it up until its release and now it came out, and I'm hearing really good things, but it just wasn't a game that was on my radar. And then I got Dead Island free for PSN stuff, and I haven't really got a chance to boot that up. But at the same time, we had the Vampire Survivor like Castlevania DLC. I downloaded the game on my phone just to try it out, but I didn't get the chance to do that. They announced the like Dave the Diver and Balatro updates, which those came out at the same time as well. So like those all just really came at the last minute, and now we have like all these Halloween parties. So I don't have a lot of time for the Halloween aspect stuff for the rest of the month. And I just got a lot of sidetracked on like this manga that's really cool. This manga is about like this race car driver in Japan, and it goes from like him being like a street car driver and then going to like I guess like Japan Nationals or maybe worldwide or something like that. I haven't really looked into it, but like it's been a nice change of pace so far. I was like, initially surprised. So I'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, there's just been a few Halloween things I would have liked to have done a little more, but time has just gotten a little ahead of me. And I'm planning on doing something really cool for November. It's gonna be a cool like book theme thing. I think it's gonna be really interesting. So yeah, keep a lookout for that. And just the last Halloween thing that I guess we did do was we've watched the entire X film series. Like the first two movies came out in 2022, and I saw the first one in theaters, right? And that was thought that was actually pretty fun. It's like a take on Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Um, that's about as all as I'll say on like that. I think you should go watch it. I think they're all pretty great in their own perspective, because they're all tied together, and realistically the motif behind them being tied together is porn. It's porn. It's weird, so like that's an odd thing to be like, but like in terms of horror movies and sex, and then like porn, those things have had a very weird conundrum like together, and then these movies they kind of play into that, and then with a lot of things that have gone on in Hollywood, and a lot of things that have gone on with like politics, and all that kind of stuff that has happened a lot around the world, right? So like this movie kind of encapsulates that in I think a really authentic take into horror, right? The first movie was weird. It got a little weird. Um and I was like, huh, I thought it was supposed to be a trilogy. This is kind of like weird, especially with like the way it ends or something like that. And then I kind of like wrote it off because then Pearl had that trailer, came out the same year, right? And I wrote it off because it seemed like not the same kind of odd movie, and I was completely wrong. I was totally wrong. It plays into the same thing. It's like Farm Girl has a dream of being an actress, and I think we can all tell where that's going to go, right? To a realistic degree, like whether or not you're good at acting, or you get like connections, or you are like really good at what you're doing, something like that. I don't know anything about acting, but a lot of people are desperate. People get desperate and they go to like extremes to that line. And then I won't say like anything else regardless of that, right? We're going to be realistic here. Um, and sometimes they're adults, sometimes they're not all the same time, right? It's just very gray area, and it's, it should be like regulated into a very speculated degree, but it's just very, like, it's a very harsh thing, to really like get into the nitty gritty all around here. And then, the third movie, Maxine, was really cool. Actually, it's my favorite out of the three because it plays into somebody who's like trying to break out of that industry into Hollywood and how that like is kind of like haunting. And I like that in terms of a trilogy. I think this is actually like really great. I think it's like watching the entire set all together is really awesome. And from the Wikipedia page, they're apparently doing a fourth movie, which seems awesome. Awesome. I hope it maybe goes into like a little more modern times, maybe like the 90s or 80s with like the internet, because these movies didn't really have that, and that never goes into that. If they're never really before like the 60s, I think. Like X is the 70s, so like there's no internet, right? So like the internet and then like all that kind of stuff, I think should play into like probably the fourth movie, just make it like a quadfecta or something like that. But yeah, I was actually really surprised. So in terms of horror movies, the ones that I've seen this year so far, was actually really great. I was so surprised, actually. So that was actually really fun. I watched them all again, actually. I would love to go and watch X again, and then I'll probably like skip Pearl. I don't really need to watch Pearl again, but I could skip X, and then we'll see what happens with Maxine, 'cause I really like Maxine. Maxine was really good. And yeah, so like maybe I could talk about one of the cooler news articles that came out just because we're on the topic of, horrible sex crimes, right? So Roblox is making big changes into their parental controls amidst, like horrible, like, just stuff, so like I think it's really great. Video games like that just need to have better control. They need to have like better parental interaction for all like systems, all the ways the system can like connect to the internet. They need to have access to it, especially if you're like 18 or younger. I don't really think it matters, but like whatever is the legal age of consent or some kind of barometer that we can all agree on across the world. I would hope this is a worldwide thing, right? I want this to be a worldwide thing in the future, across everywhere, all companies, all governments, right? So like we want that to be a thing. This reminds me of when that Nintendo DS was sold to a kid with pornography on it, and I was just like, man, imagine going to a GameStop and just getting that. And like I remember the 3DS has like internet connection, and I know the DS to an extent had it. And then like the PSP had it, Xbox had it, even like all these kind of things. And so like there just needs to be a better way to like monitor all that kind of stuff. So like it's just really great to see all that really happening. So yeah. Um, and then on even not as positive news, but it's definitely a little lighter than the previous topic. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella gets 30 million pay raise amid a year of massive gaming layoffs. That comes from, their games not performing well. That comes from in like being greedy. It comes from a lot of things. Like 30 million. That's that's so much. Like you already made so much money last year. You probably have money like I don't know, man. That just seems really awful. Like it's like those poor people who got laid off, and then, regardless of how um people like make like the concerned decisions or anything like that, I just think it's really scummy to do that. And I bet like, people who do work there, probably all of them didn't get a whole bunch of money or anything like that or any kind of raise. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't, that's awful. That came out today. I saw that and I was just like really upset by that. I just think it's really bad. So yeah, that's just not great. Because like you could just also just not do anything with it. I don't know. I feel like because I couldn't use $30 million, in even like a year, right? I couldn't use all that money. I don't need to use all that. That's awful, man. Yeah, it's just pretty bad. But Alien Romulus 2 sequel got greenlit apparently, and much as I love the Alien franchise. I liked how disconnected a lot of the movies kind of were or have been to a degree, right? I mean, like one to four has Ripley, but like recently, even with like Covenant and then like this new one, Prometheus is disconnected to a degree, but I think like overall it's kind of just silly fun, right? Um, I wouldn't prefer a direct sequel, even connected anywhere to like the series or the play. I don't know. I think it's odd. Like if they do, I would hope that like it's maybe more along those lines of aliens, more aliens like just on screen, like more people like on the colony. I kind of hope the movie ended somewhere along that lines, just with the population being like I don't know, like 11,000 something, like somewhere I think it was like five digits. Yeah, it was like a lot of people, and they were all like condensed, and it was pretty shitty there, right? Dark all the time. Uh, so like, I'm excited for it, but I kind of would have preferred been to be like, we'll wait like 6 years and make like another one, and it'll be like, I don't know, something like Aliens 2 or something 3. I don't know. Like Romulus has a lot of like mixed opinions. I really enjoyed it for what it is. I think it was like a really more like straightforward take of Alien rather than like whatever Prometheus was, or like Covenant with like David and like its weird allegory stuff, like all that just kind of muddies the water, and they kind of go into like the origins of these the space jockeys, the Prometheans, and just like I'm here for the xenomorphs. I'm here for like Weyland Yutani being awful, and I think the characters around us are really good. So like I hope the writing sticks to that same way. That would be really nice. Yeah, Alien Romulus is really fun. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had to talk about for like, news articles and stuff. I try to keep on that, try to, stay on some relevant news. And sometimes I try to dabble into like a lot more global, like real news, not just video game nonsense. So it's pretty nice that like I get the time to do that and the platform to talk about it. So, besides that, of course I'm playing games, I started mostly playing just Persona 3 Reload again, because I really want to play Refantazio, but Dragon Age comes out really soon, and that's just like a personal want game. So like that's gonna be like I already pre-ordered it, so like I'm just gonna play it. I want to be able to talk about it for the podcast as soon as it comes out. Dive in, write it for you guys. So like that's just really what I wanted to do. But yeah, Persona 3 is long. I'm nearing like 150 hours. On like I think average, besides like dying and restarting or whatever. But yeah, Persona, I made it to the January 1st is when we're in the, last Tartarus mission. That's where the final boss is, and we're gonna do that. So we're gonna see what happens towards the end. And we got the DLC, right? So I'm hoping the DLC covers like, I hear like 30 hours or something like that. So maybe the rest of the week. I'm probably gonna beat the game along the weekend. So hopefully that's gonna be really fun. And, like I said, the Dave the Diver and the Balatro updates came out, and the Balatro one is really cool, right? So you get Cyberpunk, Binding of Isaac, Slay the Spire, and Stardew Valley like cards art for the face cards, which is really cool. I played three of those games. I never played Slay the Spire. I don't even know what game it is. I think Asmongold talked about it at some point. But Cyberpunk, Binding of Isaac, Stardew Valley, those games are awesome, and I love Balatro. That game's great. And even better, you can play Balatro in Dave the Diver. That's even cooler. I did maybe three out of the five or six fights you can do in the game, and then you can get like you get like some kind of upgrade or something. But it came with a whole slew of upgrades or additional like improvements as well. Dave the Diver. There's like some potion quest where you can use potions now or something. It's crazy. I love Dave the Diver. The game is so fun, and I'm glad that it's shouted up an update just like just now. I don't really follow it, but like I looked at my phone, I was like, oh damn. And then while I'm looking to see how I can do the Dave the Diver like stuff, I'm trying to see how do I download the Balatro stuff, right? Like how do I access it in the game? And then I find out that the Balatro stuff came out on the day, like the same day at the same time. I'm like, oh no, it's not really funny. I did get a chance to listen to some of MXM Tunes music, and my girlfriend knows who she is, and they're really good. I like their music. That's awesome. I was actually pretty ecstatic that their music was really good. Her quest seems pretty fun, and I'm excited. to see where the rest of that goes. I'm gonna try and do that update also through the weekend, probably once Persona is finished, And I saw that they put out in Call of Duty zombie gameplay. I haven't seen it since they like had a thing over like the summer, but other than that, I like was really surprised that they even put it out because I think it comes out this week. So I'm not really going to get that game. I'm not really excited to play a Call of Duty game. I hear the campaign is pretty good. That's, awesome, but I'm more excited to play the zombies mode, and I'm probably going to wait for all that bundle to just be, free at some point. It's a Call of Duty game. I don't really care for that right now. Dragon Age is a little more important. I want to see where, like, what I consider the pinnacle video game RPG, right? The pinnacle RPG kind of experience to be in terms of like making your choices and that whole like game by game like kind of feel. Mass Effect is like probably somebody else's like style, but I kind of like the world of Dragon Age more than the overall world of Mass Effect is definitely cool, but that's pretty awful to say as like a sci-fi fan. Like overall, I love sci-fi, but the Dragon Age world, like the way you make choices that game, I kind of like that more than just playing the same character on those Mass Effect games. And also like the books are a little more better in my opinion. But yeah, certainly in the future I'll give Zombies a try, and my pal's getting the Sonic and Shadow game, so I'm gonna see if he likes it, and maybe in the future I'll try out that game. And I know Mario Party Jamboree, right, it came out as well, and I watched a little bit of Maximilian Dude play some of that with his crew. So that was actually pretty fun to watch. That game seems pretty fun. I love Mario Party. I think it'd be pretty fun to play for like a new apartment setting, for me and my friends. Pretty awesome. And yeah, I do think it's time to talk about our sponsor, Dubby. Dubby is a clean energy drink that is made to give you focus with no crash, jitters, or angst like other energy drinks. We also have no maltodextrin fillers and don't use artificial dyes. Dubby contains vitamins, amino acids, a nootropic, and 150 milligrams of caffeine. If you use the coupon code down below at checkout, you can get 10% off anything at the store. Things like drink powders, apparel, portable bottles, stickers, and bags. That's only if you use the coupon code at checkout for 10% off. Tubby is an energy drink powder that is produced in FDA registered and inspected facilities in the United States. So yeah, I'm already gearing up for next month's like book plans. So I think that's gonna be really interesting. Besides, gearing for that, I think I'm just gonna read the manga for right now. Right, One Piece has been really fun so far. We just had chapter 1130, pretty great. We're meeting the sun god of Elbaf, this weird looking guy. This is a pretty cool area, right? There's like snow everywhere. I'm pretty excited. I'm loving this entire setting. We also had like this weird idea of like what this X means on Luffy. I thought it was like them being like we'll be pirates forever way back when, right? It's been like so long. I haven't really watched the overall arc in so long. I've been watching this for years, right? It's just I'm just excited, right? So One Piece has been like really exciting so far, and I don't think anything else is going to really like compare to that. Um, and so I just keep trying to read up other manga, right? I just read up a whole bunch of Junji Ito, right? We did that, so go check out those out. I talk about those books, and then we are waiting for Dragon Ball, right? Frothing at the mouth. We'll talk about Dragon Ball Daima in just a little bit. I've been really interested in branching out into other manga, right? I've only done like shonen stuff. I was talking to someone and I was recommended uh, an anime initially by Initial D, right? And I was interested in it because it's about like a race car driver, and I'm like, that seems really, really interesting and like a different take on anime or manga that I'm not really keen on or like not really, super used to in the past. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna try this out, right? Um, and I was initially surprised by the manga being as cool as it was because it's funny. It has like obviously like really cool like racing moments. I don't understand all the technical lingo, right? I'm not really a big car person. Um, but it's just really cool to have like the same kind of anime tropes on an entirely different storyline, right? And it's just I'm really interested in it. Apparently, like 700 chapters. It's crazy. Yeah, I'm only 62 chapters in, right? We're on volume 7. That's what the cover is on the thumbnail. That's what I chose. I figured where I'm at right now is volume 7, so that's right. But like, there's like 700 chapters, right? There's like two parts. There's the Akina 8-6 part, and then there's the Project D part. And Project D starts looks like around 200 or so. And we'll see what happens by the end of this, and um, beginning of Project D, and we'll see where we'll go. I don't know if we'll stick with it. I wasn't planning on reading that was 700 chapters, right? But yeah, length aside, I'm liking where I'm at right now. So I'm really enjoying like the art for it. It's cool seeing cars drawn like on these panels, and it's a new taste that you don't really get a lot of in shonen manga. You don't get like the inside view of cars and then like motions for people moving them like in cool ways. It's really cool to see that perspective, and it makes me really want to start reading or watching more sports anime like in the future, like a basketball one or something. That's be really fun. And while we're still on the topic of racing, and there's been a lot that I want to talk about in terms of like video game genres, right? Uh, the racing genre fascinates me because I'm so surprised that we're not seeing racing games out the ass. I'm not seeing why we don't have a racing game for every franchise every like 3 or 4 years, right? And because like they're so simple. They're they're so simple that we have like kids doing it in games like Roblox that I previously mentioned, or you can do like racing games in Minecraft probably. I remember Fords from Halo, you could do your own racing modes. And I think the racing genre is just super underappreciated. It's just so garbage. And that's why Mario Kart, right, is the best-selling Switch title of all time, right? I think, or is it the best-selling Nintendo title, right? I remember it being really high at some point. It was really massive, right? I love Mario Kart. Awesome, awesome game. It's been like in terms of iterations, not a whole lot's changed from I would say maybe Double Dash to now, right? Graphics are pretty much the same. I remember the DS ones are pretty fun, and now we have like online, which I remember every time I play Mario Kart 8 online on my Switch, it works out pretty well. You know, I get in first la di da. I don't care. It works for me. It works out pretty well. So, uh, Mario Kart is really great. Um, Another fan favorite of that I think people might like a lot more is things like The Crew, because The Crew I think is super underappreciated. So many people were upset when that game got taken offline, right? I think it's taken offline, and so right, it was taken offline, and then we saw a big uproar of like this like there's nowhere to play this game. We can't play this game anymore. And like you want to pirate these games. Now it's just like those online service games, they're beloved, right? I think like WoW is such a testament to that because like it's say what you will about Blizzard and communities and just people in general, right? You're gonna get bad people in every community, no matter where you go. Vetting that is just kind of a process. Like these are communities that have been prolonged and like so open to the public for so long, that like obviously they're gonna get a little bit of like, bad eggs in the whole basket. So the crew, I remember playing it and it was really fun. The crew was awesome because you can like play with and race with anyone at any time, almost any time, right? I played on console. Load times were relatively good on the Xbox at the time for the crew, so that was pretty fun. And I like that aspect of it because you want to be able to race real people. Like racing AI is only fun when like you're trying to like earn stuff like points or coins or skins or carts or all that fun stuff. But then like, you know, racing somebody and beating their ass the same way you do in like Budokai Tenkaichi, Sparking Zero, Mortal Kombat, at the NFL games or any kind of game, racing games is undervalued in that same way. I don't understand why we're not seeing more racing games. I think they're so simple in their design, but you can have such a great variety of them. There's things like just races, there's battles, time trials, like a whole bunch of other multiplayer aspects that you get. I kind of wish that you get like a really fun racing MMO. That'd be really fun. I think like the Lego games have a racing games on the PC. Those are really fun. Career modes are also really great. The same like sports games have like the same thing. Yeah, I just really don't understand like why we don't see more racing games. Um, because you can just put out like 16 maps, 24 some plus characters or whatever, right? Games where like, Mario Kart Double Dash did this the best, right? Where you could have two people in the cart together. Dude, you're talking about big brain moves here. We haven't seen anything like that ever again. They don't have the Mario Kart 8. Why not? I don't know. I think it's bad. I kind of like the aspect, because then you have things like heavy characters really affect things like, the front of the car or maybe the back of the car or, just the car overall. Like Bowser and obviously DK would be really heavy together. Or you could have like Bowser and Baby Peach or Baby Mario, something like that, the light characters. And I remember a really fun game that did the same concept, right? Cartoon Network Racing. This game was the best. I love that game. And you can play as like the cow and chicken crew and like the Powerpuff Girls together, or like the Ed and Eddie brothers and Courage the Cowardly Dog. Like it's so awesome that like you get like those cool crossovers, and you don't get that anymore in almost any kind of game, bro. I think it's really, really not so great for the gaming industry that we're like arcade games started those like racing terminal stuff, right? And like you have those in the console games now, and like even phone games, I don't think have like good racing games to a degree. It's just kind of sad, It's like I play Mario Kart the most out of any racing game ever, and uh, I don't want to only play Mario Kart. Sonic Riders, another great one. I loved Sonic Riders on the GameCube and the PS2, right? So that was great. You could play as because like the Sonic games were a little boring in the same way where it's like this guy's just running, but he's also like I think in the Sonic racing games with the karts, he runs or drives with like the other characters. Like that's fine. That's just like a kart game. But Sonic Riders is really fun because they're all like airboards, like they're kind of like air surfing, they're riding on rails, and that's fucking that Jet character, that green bird on Babylon, bro. If I ever have to play that game again and do Babylon, I don't know what I'll do because that was so hard as a kid. That was so hard as a kid. I don't know how I ever beat it, but yeah. And like those games were challenging too. Like sometimes the AI would just really fuck you, right? The AI would really like get under you. Like you talk about like getting hit in some of these games, like the blue shell in Mario Kart, right? Or one of my favorite games, Burnout Revenge, Burnout 3 Revenge. That's the perfect game. Just like nudging, sideswiping some of them behind just enough to where they crash. You wipe them out and destroy them, wreck them. Those games were the best. Uh, perfect example of games that need to come back, right? The Simpsons Hit and Run, or the Simpsons Taxi game, right? Crazy Taxi, the Simpsons game, Road Rage, the Simpsons Road Rage. Loved those games, loved them to death, and it's just so sad that we're not seeing games like that because not every game needs to be some kind of online massive experience, right? Not every game needs to be a like big overall like cinematic story. They could just be a really fun sandbox nonsense. Like whoever played the Disney skateboarding game, right? Where you can skateboard as all the Disney characters, Buzz Lightyear or like Simba, right? Those games were awesome. The Simpsons skateboarding also was super great. And we don't get any of those games anymore, and I'm so upset by that fact. And I would like to see more, F-Zero. Where is my F-Zero, Nintendo? Where is it? So yeah, that's all I have to say about racing games. I don't want to see any more shooters. I don't want to see any more MMOs. I like MMOs; they're really fun. I don't want to see any more shitty mobile game ads, right? I want to see more racing games on console, mobile, everything. It's just like give me those, give me those, give me those. Now, I think we should end the episode on Dragon Ball, right? Did anybody else watch Dragon Ball Episode 3, Dragon Ball Daima? Hey, we're getting some weird lore, right? So, like, not only is like this like weird goldfish that like warps to like realms, right? There's multiple like demon realms, which is already weird enough in terms of Dragon Ball lore. Now we have like the Kais and the Namekians are demons. That was kind like now we're kind of getting into where the idea of Namekians being demons always was, right? Because they were like, oh, I'm a demon, but now I'm a slug man, right? So now I kind of like that we're getting that kind of bridge. And then the demon realms are connected, right? There's like a way for them all to be connected. We've only seen three, I think. I don't know if they said a maximum at all yet, but there's a way to get through all three of them. And the gas in the third realm is like heavy and has like a lot of like it makes like you like slow and stuff like that. And then like there's like a sea of darkness that'll kill you apparently. There's also hotels, like towns and criminals, which is weird concerning a demon realm. Because I was thinking more along those lines of like Hiffle or Hell, but who knows? And it was cool seeing a statue of Deborah. That was awesome. Kai's come from the second demon realm apparently, right? They're also like remember they're demons. And then, yeah, there's Demon Realm guns. And the episode ends on a pretty relatively positive note. I'm still loving this show. I'm loving it. It's been so fun this last 3 weeks, and I'm looking forward to more. Apparently, there's like 20 episodes in it, so who really knows? And yeah, I just want to, thank you guys for coming out to the podcast again and listening to me. I hope to see you guys in November. We're only 2 months away to the new year, the year 2025. Who would have thought that like we would get to like that kind of era? I never thought like I'd be here in the year coming to 2025 as like a podcaster or doing anything like that. It's just like really fun. So like this privilege has been really incredible. It's been a good journey making these wacky thumbnails and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, if there's any cool books or comics, manga, anime, video games you want me to try out and experience, because I'm down for it. I'm down for anything. I'll do anything. Yeah, I'll see you all next Friday. Thank you.